in September on a Wednesday. We got a phone call from the adoption agency that we've been working with. And basically at 8:30 p.m. that night, they said, can you come by tomorrow morning, Thursday morning, and pick up your son?
Welcome to Getting Money Right, a show dedicated to helping you achieve financial freedom through education and inspiration, so you can be free to pursue your true life's purpose. We are your hosts, Leo Sabo and David Thompson, and on this episode, we're going to do a personal update. As you guys know, who you follow us on a regular basis, we've had a little bit less consistency in our content development, especially in the production of this podcast. Of course, we've told you that we've been working on creating this course, which we're still working on, but there's been some developments lately that we thought we'd bring you guys up on and let you know what's going on with us personally. That's, of course, also affecting what we do with this podcast and with this, what is it, David, that we're doing?
Yeah, well, we're building this course on the side as well. And at the beginning of the year, we said we're going to slow down the podcast to maybe every other week,
Right.
Maybe every 3 weeks, which typically for the first 3 years, it was every week on the dot. And now we're saying it'll be about every other week or every third week while we build this course.
Right.
And we thought the course would be finished by the end of this year. We'd be able to roll it out and then go back to about a once a week podcast release. And as we got further into the year, we've been building the course. We've been loving it. It's growing. We're excited about the content. We can't wait to share it with you. But in September, something pretty exciting happened in my life.
Yeah.
My wife, Ashley, and I, we have been in the adoption process for 14 months. And in September, on a Wednesday, we got a phone call from the adoption agency that we've been working with. And basically at 8:30 p.m. that night, they said, can you come by tomorrow morning, Thursday morning, and pick up your son? We're ready to place a child with you guys for adoption. And we were just ecstatic, thrilled. We had a nursery, prepared and built, but we didn't have diapers. We didn't have wipes. We didn't have formula. We didn't have onesies. We didn't have a car seat. Mm-hmm. And it was like Wednesday night to Thursday morning at 9 a.m.
Yeah.
So we ran to Walmart, bought a car seat, bought diapers, formula, everything that we would need, and picked him up on Thursday morning in September. And so that has been an incredible joy. We have been blown away. He is absolutely beautiful. He's so sweet. He's so content. He smiles like crazy. It'll melt your heart. Yep. I wish I could show you pictures. Here we are listening to a podcast, but he has absolutely changed our lives in all good ways, and we're loving being parents. But basically, I took 5 weeks off of work and of the podcast. Now, I would actually on Friday morning still, Leo and I would meet online, and we'd still write some of the course content and still be continuing a few things. But overall, as a parent, and in this season of becoming a parent for the first time, you look at the priorities and you say, what's the most important thing in my life right now?
Right.
And my son's his name is Ezra David Thompson. Ezra is an Old Testament biblical name. He's one of the prophets that brought the people back to the Word of God and reminded them of God's Word. Really cool story there. But it also means helper in Hebrew, and it also means God is my helper. So all that being said, we are loving our time with Ezra. And when I looked at what's my priority right now, I love this podcast we do every week. I love you, our audience. I love connecting with you guys when you reach out via email, social media on Facebook or Instagram. A lot of you guys are my friends, so just in person or texting when you have questions. Leo and I love you guys, but we also love our families more.
Yeah. And that's okay. That's what it should be. You should love your family more than you love us.
Exactly.
For sure.
Exactly. So we wanted to share a little bit of an update here because this episode is a little bit about our priorities.
Yeah.
And the podcast is going to keep coming. The course is still going to get built. But when you have a major life event. Thank you. When you have a major life event in your family, you focus on family.
Yeah, you
And
should.
and
You
and
should.
so that's what I've been up to for about 5 weeks, and then slowly getting back into doing the weekly podcast, and then continuing to build out the course content. But we just wanted to share. We wanted to share a little bit of what's been going on in my life with our son, Ashley and I's son Ezra, and Leo. What's been going on in your life? Because I know you've had a few cool family things too.
Yeah. So, first of all, just so thrilled for you and Ashley. Natalie and I have been there for probably the last year or so, as you guys have. Well, longer than that, as you know. But just knowing how much you guys desired to grow a family, to have children, and just it's a cool way that God has delivered this promise, and we're excited for you. The Ezra is just beautiful. He is a happy kid, and he's got some amazing parents. So we're excited about his future and everything God has in plan for him. And I just want to say this to our audience, but specifically to you and Ashley. I'm just so proud of you guys that you did decide. You know what? This is an important time. We're going to push everything else, and you guys are very busy. You work
Yes.
very important roles where you do, and you're leading in certain areas. So it's not like you could completely drop out, but yet you did. You said, "Listen, this is a time when we need to focus on our family," and so kudos to you for doing that. This is not an easy thing to do, and it's part of the reason why I thought it would be a great idea to do this episode. Is not only to give you guys an update on what's going on with us, but also to emphasize that this is actually quite connected to what we do. We want you to be free to pursue your true life's purpose, but your true life's purpose is to be the kind of person that's investing in others. And by doing that, of course, your family should always come first. And for us, no matter what we do, our desire is really to do that well. Now, we're not perfect at it. And if I would go back, 30 years into my past, when we first got married, as any young man would, is reasonable to think that I would do this, which is to pursue a career, to work hard, to try to provide for my family, but didn't always have good balance there. I always thought, well, if I just give my family more money, then everybody will be happier. But that meant having to work more hours than I should have. And so there were certain things I had to miss, or chose to miss, I should say. And sometimes that's a hard balance, and we know that. In some seasons, you do have to work two jobs because your family needs it. And it's not just so you can have a bigger car or a nicer home. It's just
Sometimes
to
you
put food
gotta
on the table.
get groceries.
So we've been in that situation, and I respect anyone that does that, and that's what a husband and a wife should do to make things work. However, the difference is, are you just surviving, or are you thriving already and you just want to have more? And I think this is where we want to always emphasize that having margin allows you to keep balancing your life. And having margin allowed you and Ashley to say, for these next few weeks, it's not that we're going to check out of life, but we're going to focus on the thing that matters most, which is this new baby that God has given us. And we want to make sure that he feels like he's in the right place, and he gets acclimated. I'm sure he's had some changes in his life. He may not be fully aware of it.
Yeah.
But it's a change to everybody's that's involved, obviously, and your families and all of that. So anyway, I'm excited for you guys. I think
Thank you.
I think it's going to be an amazing, continuing journey with Ezra, and just cool to see what God does in his life as he grows up. So as far as we're concerned, as far as our family's concerned, there's been some changes and some things that we've had to adapt to. One of our son-in-laws, Cody, who has been for over 3 years trying to get in with the FAA as an air traffic controller. Took over 3 years for him to finally get through the process of getting accepted, going through the training, and he's gotten through that training. He's passed all his tests, all his practicals, all that stuff. And then, unfortunately, there was no position available in Texas.
Oh.
So they are moving to Santa Rosa, California, which is nearly 1,800 miles away.
Wow.
And that's tough because for us personally, one, because we love our kids, we love our grandkids, the two boys that they have together, and they're not going to be anywhere near us for a while. So it's going to be hard. It's not something that you can just, hey, I think I'll just drive down for the day. It's a 3.5-hour flight. So plus they're an hour north of San Francisco. So it's going to be difficult to get up there as often as we would like. And that means that we have to make some changes, and we need to adapt to some things. And thankfully, we do have the technology to stay connected, but it's just not the same. And that's going to be a little bit difficult. But that's part of what happens in life, though. I mean, we totally understand they need to establish themselves. My son-in-law wants to have this career, and I think it's going to be a great path for him, and he's excited about it. But it just means that we have to make some changes, and those changes are sometimes difficult. So that's life, right?
That's right. The reason that we wanted to share this with you guys is, on the one hand, this isn't about us. Leo and I are the hosts of this podcast, but it's not like, oh, we need you to know everything about us. But what we do want you to see is our thinking and the way that we think through things and the way that we, as we look to serve other people, our lives are dedicated to serving other people. Mm-hmm. And we do that in our jobs, in the organizations that we volunteer in, the organizations that we consult and give our time and energy to. Mm-hmm. And especially we do that in the podcast. This is one of our jobs.
Yeah.
and we don't see it as a hard work, difficult job. We see this as an opportunity to serve people and share the 4 steps to purposeful living, to share investing information, to share credit information, to help people get out of debt, to help people buy a home for the first time, to get inexpensive vehicles. Like, our heart is to help people. But we just want you to think through the priorities of your life as you're looking for ways to serve people in your life. What does it look like to take a step back and when a life event happens, mm-hmm. slow down and say, okay, I need to keep myself healthy, my family healthy. And if that means I have to slow down a project, then this project, the Getting Money Right course, is a major project for Leo and I. It's one that we've been excited about for all of this year. We've been building. We've taken a whole test group through the content. We did a whole beta course on it. We've been writing every week, tons of content, getting ready to film, putting together visuals. This is a major project in our lives. Yeah. And I know you have major projects at your job and what you're doing, but there are other more important things.
Absolutely.
And it's okay to slow down and let a project be delayed by a month or at least 5 weeks while you have a new child in the house, right?
That's right.
And so that's what we wanted to share today is we're continuing to build the course. It's going great. We're loving it. But when life events happen, you focus on family. And I'll just tell you with Ezra, Ashley and I have been snuggled up next to him every moment of every day.
That's awesome.
We are still, for every single feeding, every single diaper change, every single moment, fighting over who is going to be getting to hold him, getting to feed him, getting to change his diaper. We want him. He's adopted. We want him to know he is 100% loved, mm-hmm. that he is 100% of the family, and he's still a baby, but we want to have that skin-to-skin contact, that FaceTime. We want him to hear our voices, and that is priority over anything else that we're doing. Now, you balance that out, and eventually you come back to work, and you set some boundaries, and you figure out goals of how you're going to do that. But we wanted to share that because you'll see it delays. You'll see a little bit. The podcast probably has come out about once every 3 weeks, the last, maybe 2 or 3 months. And you'll actually probably see it increase a little bit more now that I'm back. And Leo's got his son-in-law and his daughter moved out to California in the next week or two. But we just wanted to give you a heads up. That's why things slowed down a little bit. The course will probably come out in the first quarter of 2022. It'll be delayed by a couple months, and that's okay. We'll see the exact timing. Don't take that as an exact date, but here are our hearts. Family matters. While you're looking for ways to serve people, don't lose out on what's most important.
Yeah, that's it. I mean, we just want you to know we do care about what we're doing here at Getting Money Right. We do have a long-term horizon for what we want to accomplish through this and what we feel we have the privilege to do. This is not something we're forced to do. Nobody's hired us to do this. This is something we're doing it because we love to share the information that we've benefited from and want to continue to do that in cool and creative ways as well. And we also want to change some of the way we're approaching some of the episodes, which is to really talk about some of the more specifics, how to, as far as investing is concerned.
Yes.
This is something that David and I are consistently learning and growing in ourselves. And as we do that, we want to share that with you. We still, our main message is, because we start with building a strong foundation, we still go back to understand the 4 steps to purposeful living, apply the budgeting part, make sure you have a good, strong, solid plan in place so that you are in control. And then you build the margin that you're saving before you're spending, that you're doing all these things that we talked about. Mm-hmm. So we're never going to move away from that. That's the foundation we're building everything else on. So if you go back through our episodes of 180 plus episodes that we've done so far, that's always the running thread, because we know you have to protect the foundation on your house. Okay. If your
Yes.
foundation starts to have cracks, you need to address that before you're repainting the wall. Right? I mean, this is what we're talking about. So we're always going to go back to the foundation, but then we also realize that there's so much more about managing money, both the emotional side, the psychological side, and of course the practical side. And we're going to share some more things. We're going to do an episode soon on investing in individual stocks and talking about some of the cool ways that we've done that, and just to encourage you with opportunities to put yourself in a position where you can have and maintain the balance of both managing your finances, but also being available for your family. And this is something that both David and I are walking through right now. The fact that he and Ashley could take the time to pull away and be completely disconnected from work for 5 weeks and even longer, that's an amazing opportunity.
Yeah.
Who else do you know in your family or around you that can just check out of work for weeks and sometimes months because you have enough set aside and you have the right situation in place where you can just focus on that? That's hard. Most people, most women who have children have to go back to work. They might get 2 weeks, maybe 3 weeks, maybe a month, but then it's right back to work. And kid has to go in daycare and all of
Yeah.
that. So
Yeah.
sometimes that's just the way it is. But what if you could do it differently?
Right.
What if you could create the situation and work on it so that when that time in your life comes where you want to have babies, one of you can stay home and the other one can continue to work, and you can have that balance and still have a good life, have margin, not feel stressed out, not bring any of that into the relationship of your family. And that's what we're about. We're about creating margin in every area of life. But we know that finances play a huge part of that. And if we don't get that right, it will impact every other area in a negative way.
That's part of the heart of getting money right, is that if you have intentionally built a spending plan, we say spend on purpose. If you actually have a spending plan in place, and then you move into saving before you spend, and then you increase your margin, and then you start investing wisely.
Yep.
When you started to increase margin, that's what allows you to take off for a month and not have to worry about the finances and be able to focus on what really matters. So you might not be there today, and that's okay. What we want to do is help you get there in your financial life. And if you are there, that's wonderful. If you're there and you're already at the place where you have the margin and you've been investing wisely, then Leo and I just want to remind you, take a step back and really focus and look at what matters the most in your life. Because you can keep accumulating, you can keep growing your finances, you can, really chase after working extremely hard, getting more money, but you might not be getting money right, because part of getting money right is understanding the true purpose. And honestly looking at your life and the healthy balance and saying, am I in a place where I can honestly say that I've taken time to serve my family first, make sure I'm healthy before I try to go into the marketplace and help other people get healthy. So obviously there are times we just have to work 2 jobs and put food on the table, but over time you can grow. And I love that.
Yeah, and I think you should work on it, because it's not about going from one stressful situation to another. Over time, this is something that I can tell you from personal experience. Again, you guys know my story. Natalie and I started with 13 credit cards. We were in debt. We had some really difficult financial and also relational strife going on at that time. But then things got better. And then, of course, we hit a dip here and there. But every time we hit a hard season, what would have potentially either wrecked us or might even have led to our divorce, that never happened because our finances got better and better and better. And again, the finances aren't the one that are going to fix everything, but the finances will certainly make things worse. And I think there's a way, in fact, this is what we teach through the 4 steps to purposeful living, is that there's a way to improve your situation so that when future situations happen that could financially be difficult, they're not going to be for you because you're prepared for them. And that's really what it is. You cannot avoid, or you cannot stop these things from happening, right? The economy is going to change, jobs are going to be lost, layoffs are going to happen. But when you have a good plan in place with plenty of margin, then you can adapt to it. And what would be a difficult season would just be something that you have to adapt to, and that makes a huge difference. It makes a huge difference. So you can do it. That's what Getting Money Right is about, and we're committed to continue to both educate, but also to share with you what we're doing, and hopefully from our example and from some of the things that you're learning from us and others, you can succeed in this area and really pursue the things that you're most passionate about, and that is your family first, and then all the other things that you've been gifted to do.
That's right. Well, just a sneak peek when it comes to the course. We are doing a phenomenal job putting together all the content here. Here I am complimenting us. Look at us. We're doing a phenomenal job. What I want to share is that we're currently looking at a 90-day plan for your life and building out each step for 12 weeks. So 3 months, 90 days. If you follow along in this journey, at the end of it, you will have all the foundational pieces in place. Mm-hmm. Now, once you get that 90-day plan all built out and you're walking it out and you've learned everything you need from budgeting to debt reduction to credit scores to understanding the beginning of investing, once you've got those pieces set in motion, then it becomes behavioral economics where you continue to walk it out over a long period of time. And that's where you see the needle really move. So we're going to teach you how to put all the important things in place that you need on the front end. We're going to walk you through it with weekly videos, downloadable content. So all of this is coming together as I look at the course overview and as I look at the things that we've been writing and preparing. I just want to get you guys a little bit more excited. The Getting Money Right course is coming. The Getting Money Right website we actually have the website created, but we haven't put the final touches on it. So more of that's going to be coming. We're continuing to build and design a little bit of that, but I just want to get you excited. The Getting Money Right course is coming. Be looking for that in 2022. We will, part of when we said the behavioral economics, once the course is done, the reason for the podcast is that every week you're getting encouragement and reminders of walking out the plan, and you're getting little insights to keep you healthy in your finances. And so the reason we have the podcast and we'll have the course is that you get the information that you need in a really meaty, clear-cut, highly well-communicated, visual, dynamic, hey, here's everything you need. But then you're going to have ongoing motivation and relationship with Leo and I through the podcast, through some online things that we're building. And so that's the overall scope of where it's going. And we're excited to share that with you when it comes.
Yeah, and our real desire long-term is to build a community of people that are seeking to get money right. And that's the course is to really introduce more people to that. And then, of course, through the podcast, a community that we want to build, then we can support and help each other to do that. And that's the whole purpose of what we do, is to help more people do that. And we know that as you're learning these things, as you apply these things, some of you will be, in fact, a few of the people that we've already impacted through this course, beta, have come to us and said, hey, if you're ever looking for people that can coach others, because that's one of the things we're looking at a little bit down the road, is to have some coaches that will walk with people one-on-one and answer very specific type of guidance questions, those kind of things. And we've already have a few people that have said, when you're ready for that, let me know. I'd love to do this as well. So we know that some of you have a desire to also teach in this area. And we're going to welcome you into this community and ask you to participate, to be part of this group of people that are encouraging others, supporting others. And so we're excited about, again, building a community that can help each other and we can all grow together. So that's what's exciting to us, and that's what's going to be coming.
Yeah, well, we hope that you've enjoyed this update. It's been more of a family update, an update on the podcast, an update on the course coming. Send some warm wishes and some prayers over baby Ezra. He deserves them. He's amazing. He makes me smile every time I look at him. Even as I'm leaving this morning the house to come record the podcast, I just go over to his crib and look over him and pray over him, and just, it's hard to pull myself away. And so if you want to check out some pictures of him, you can go to my Facebook page, David Thompson, and Instagram as well, David Thompson. I don't know that we'll have anything on the website per se. Actually, for the first 6 months of adoption, you're not allowed to post the baby's face. This is just like a state thing online. They really want to keep everything safe and protected in that family. But at that 6 month mark, you'll get to see some incredible incredible smiles online. Right now, you'll get some side shots of his face, as he's hugging us and snuggling us. But just send out some warm wishes and prayers for baby Ezra David Thompson. And we love you guys. We hope that you will like, review, and subscribe to this channel. So if you're on Apple, hit that little heart button, download a couple extra episodes and get those in the queue to listen to later. You can go down and hit the 5-star button and actually give us a nice review. That helps in the algorithm. You can jump on to leosabo.com and you can download some of the tools and resources. Those are precursors to the really robust things that we're going to be sharing in the course. So you can get ahead, start learning in that. You can download some of Leo's blog, not download, but just go and read some of Leo's blog articles. He's been actively writing and creating. Leo, what else should people connect to in these days?
Well, I mean, that's it really. It's just we're excited about making the shift and creating the Getting Money Right course, and of course the website, so that we can just do it at a larger scale.
Yeah.
And so we're excited about that.
Yeah. Well, thank you for listening. We look forward to having you join us next time. So together, we can keep getting money right.
Right? The economy is going to change, jobs are going to be lost, layoffs are going to happen. But when you have a good plan in place with plenty of margin, then you can adapt to it. And what would be a difficult season would just be something that you have to adapt to, and it makes a huge difference.